मोमबत्ती उठाने की तो आदत नहीं थी हमारी। जब एक महिला की आन और शान की बात आती थी, तो हमारे तो शास्त्रों में लिखा है कि सीधे शस्त्र उठाते थे और पूरी तरीके से मार देते थे।
Spirituality is something that balances them in a way that no matter what happens in your life, they are able to handle it with grace.
Immerse myself into spirituality.
But is there a safe space? Is there a policy?
मेडिकल नेग्लिजेंस इन माय ओन फैमिली, देन व्हाई नॉट टू टॉक अबाउट इट। जब एक डॉक्टर के घर में ये हाल हो सकता है एक बड़े डॉक्टर के यहाँ, तो फिर बाकी लोगों को तो कुछ पता ही नहीं होता।
To winning these phenomenal awards, how do you feel about this?
My upbringing was in such a way that I always wanted to be the best. We women can empower each other, be the brand ambassador of womanhood.
Yes, and we are practicing women empower women and women can stand by each other.
Life at its own pace, enjoy life, be determined, but be soft spoken.
Yeah. Welcome to the Breaking Stereotypes, presented by the SAP Media, sponsored by Elements of Aesthetics, production partner Pack Studios, venue partner Novotel Pune. I came across a quote that says, if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. And this reminds me every single day to dream big. One such person who embodies this principle in their life is Dr. Stuti Khare Shukla, leading dermatologist, popularly known as the hair growth queen of India, who has helped over 70,000 patients in India and across globe with her FDA-approved hair growth formula. Welcome, Dr. Stuti.
Thank you so much, Sudakshana. Thank you for having me here in your show.
So, Doctor, coming from a small town like Jabalpur to winning these phenomenal awards, Times Excellence, now Bharat Best Trichologist, to being at the Ambani wedding, now collaborating with Femina for Miss India, these are accomplishments that everyone dreams about. How do you feel about this?
Of course, I feel great about it. Becoming one of the best and leading doctors in India was my childhood dream. When I was just 5 years old, my mom asked me, "What do you want to become?" And I said that I want to become a very big doctor. And my mom is also a very ambitious person. And she made sure that, I always follow whatever I have dreamt. And I was very sincere enough in accomplishing whatever I wanted to do. I wanted to do it in a perfect way. I followed everything which was required. My family was supportive. There were many hurdles which came in my way, but I was determined enough. So I think if a person is determined, if a person is courageous, and if a person is sincere and hardworking, with good talent, I think everybody can accomplish in life.
And dream big.
Of course, dreaming big is the most important thing, especially for we women, because especially I'll give all credits to my mom because she wanted her daughter to be the best. We are two sisters, and my mom was always very courageous to make sure that daughters they dream big. She was herself a very big dreamer, and she ensured that we had that personality of dreaming big. And that time it wasn't a very normal thing for females to dream big. And in fact, I had so many hurdles, but because my personality, my upbringing was in such a way that I always wanted to be the best, be on top, to do whatever I wanted without being affected what people think or how things matter to other people.
So, Doc, coming from again a small town like Jabalpur to now having your FDA-approved hair growth treatment to treating patients from across the globe, 70,000 plus patients, were you ever treated differently when you were starting your career?
See, Sudakshana, the first place where you're treated or judged is well within your family.
Yeah.
Right? Of course, and that's very natural. Yeah. I used to take it in a very aggressive way when people used to judge me. Like when my parents used to question me, "Itna kar paogi kya?" And I was married in Balaghat. My in-laws are also doctors, and that's even a smaller place. So of course they had a very different perspective of life, and I wanted Mumbai ka life, foreign ka life, all that, right? So obviously it was very natural that people would have judged me, and I would have just want to give one suggestion to the younger generation. When people judge you, don't get aggressive. That's one mistake I did. I just wanted to prove myself. वो थॉट ना एक सर पे चढ़ गया था और वो थॉट ने मुझे बहुत आगे ले पहुंचाया कि आई वॉज डे एंड नाइट वर्किंग फॉर माई सेल्फ, आई वॉन्टेड टू प्रूव माई सेल्फ फॉर वॉट. नाउ व्हेन आई लुक बैक, आई think I could have carried it in a more graceful way. Like, people will always judge we women. We are living in India, isn't it? So it's okay. You should not think take anything so aggressively. Take life at its own pace. Enjoy life. Be determined, but be soft spoken.
एब्सोल्युटली। ना डॉग, जैसे आपने बताया कि आपके इन-लॉज़ के फैमिली में भी सब डॉक्टर्स हैं, बट यू चोज़ डर्मेटोलॉजी एंड पर्टिकुलरली हेयर। व्हाई हेयर एंड व्हाट मेड यू चूज़ एंड व्हाट मेड यू स्पेशलाइज़ इन हेयर ग्रोथ?
Yeah. So when I was getting married, I got married and then I got into post graduation. So I've always wanted to do a fierce practice. So either it had to be medicine, cardiology after medicine, or surgery, or dermatology. These were my favorite branch. So again, my father-in-law asked me, would you be able to pursue medicine cardiology, because it requires a lot of working hours. Do you think that you're competent enough to give justice to your family as well as to your profession? I thought I would be able to do that, but somehow, because I was getting married, I thought that it's good to follow in-laws' advice also. So I just chose dermatology. And if I choose something, if I do something, it's like a quality in me. I give my 100%, at least 100%, maybe more than that. So I wanted to do my best. When I did my post graduation, that time I was getting so many offers from USA, Singapore, Bangkok, UK, and all parts of the world. It happens very rarely for a postgraduate student to get so many opportunities. Already I was very well known while I was doing my post graduation. So many conferences, so many things I was doing, researches and everything. I was affiliated with so many institutes abroad. So I was getting very good opportunities. And when I was doing my practice, I saw that the doctors are writing a lot of hair transplant for certain people who don't even require it. So there was a lacune. And poor people, poor in the sense didn't had an option of going on non-invasive treatments also. So I thought, then why not we have some kind of bridge which actually helps people in getting a non-invasive treatment. Fortunately, during my COVID days, I was practicing in my husband's hometown, and I had a lot of support from the patients. We were doing so many clinical trials. There were so many patients who wanted to volunteer, and we were getting amazing results through the non-surgical modalities. And then we patented it, and that is how the journey towards the hair growth booster, which is now globally renowned, known across the world. The first step was from a small town to now being known globally, basically.
Absolutely, and I guess that was the time I met you, so I have seen that journey closely.
Great, great.
So, Doc, like you said, you chose hair. Uh, Hair makes our day, breaks our day, makes our mood. People don't even get out if they have bad hair day, right? And it plays a very important role in someone's self-confidence, right? Uh, did you come across any situations where hair played more than a major role in their lives?
So many times, of course, because there are so many females, especially. Of course, males also get affected, but Sudakshna, 90% times I see so many females who have alopecia universalis. Either they are of marriageable age or they are already married and young. They get completely broken. And the reason is not just alopecia universalis, what actually breaks them, it's much deeper than that. It's the emotional breakdown that they have to face. It's the trauma, mental trauma that they have to face. It's so much more actually. So there is a woman who came to me. She was from Indore, and she bought like an infant with her 7-8 months old. And she said, "Madam, आप बताइए treat होगा, नहीं तो आज जाके घर में मैं फांसी लगाने वाली हूँ." I still remember her words. Those gave me shivers actually. And I then called her father and I asked the gentleman, "What is happening with your daughter?" He said, "Ma'am, she was so pretty, I need to tell you. She looked like a princess, but she had lost a lot of her hair, completely the eyebrows and everything." Then her father showed me her previous photographs. She was so pretty. But the in-laws were torturing her, the husband was torturing her, and she did not have enough money or enough of education so that she could be by herself. So I gave her a lot of confidence. I said, "You'll surely get results. You'll surely see a good amount of difference in your hair growth. But see, somebody who's just with you because of your beauty is not good enough to be with you for whole life. you have to realize somewhere that you have to draw boundaries, and there has to be a way wherein you can start earning a living for yourself. You have to be independent. Also, make sure that you have so much confidence that if somebody is saying something bad about you, it doesn't affect you. And you know what happened after 3 months? She started seeing improvement. After 9 months, when she came to me, she was already married to someone else and she was pregnant. And I was so proud of her the moment she told me, डॉक्टर साहब ये एडवाइस आपने दी थी कि जो आपकी ज़िंदगी में रखने लायक नहीं उसको हटा दो. So this was the matter of pride. I mean, I haven't been so proud in my life when I met her the next time when she came. And this girl followed my advice. Now she has her own stitching का इसका खुद का इंस्टीट्यूट है, उसके अंदर 4-5 लड़कियां काम करती हैं. She's doing very well in her life. So see, only we women can empower each other. So rather than
Absolutely.
talking rubbish about each other, rather than gossiping about each other, rather than feeling judgmental or feeling jealous about each other, rather than pulling each other, go ahead and promote each other. Be the brand ambassador of womanhood.
Absolutely. And I guess that is something that we all should practice, and we are practicing. Women empower women, and women can stand by each other. So, Doc, apart from just being a doctor, you are also an entrepreneur. One decade ago, there was not much happening in the market. There were just the big giants, promoting hair and skin products. But now, every single day, there's a new brand coming up, and they're all out there promoting themselves on social media, on various platforms. Do you ever feel insecure, or maybe do you have a sense of fear that, "Arey, how do I go ahead? How do I put myself or give my product the best presence?"
Sudakshna, I'm a very secure person right from my childhood. And this security and confidence is also because I believe in my work. And all the patients who believe in my work are my brand ambassadors.
Absolutely.
I know that patients also, there is so much awareness, there is so much education that even the patients know कि कोई oil लगा के बाल नहीं उग सकते हैं, right? And there is so much, I mean, in remote area there is not awareness also, so that is why some people get into the trap and they are being misled, which I think is ethically incorrect. So till the time we are ethical, till the time we believe in our knowledge and we are thorough with what we have to practice as well as what we have to preach, I'm very sure nobody can stop us.
Absolutely. And I guess as doctors, you are the god. The second word for doctors is gods, people who save people's life. And we look up to you. We want the medical industry to be ethical, to be safe, to be right.
And what happens, Sudakshna, why this industry, like be it skin care and be it hair care, is so misled? Because also because it is completely, most of the people think that hair loss is generalized issue which happens to everyone. No, it's not. Firstly, it's a medical issue, especially if you're suffering from male pattern baldness or female pattern hair loss issue. Then it's definitely a medical condition, and honestly, patients should approach doctors. And most of the times I see people who are also educated, they waste a lot of time on trying certain shampoos and trying certain oils. Shampoo से या oil से बाल झड़ना नहीं रुकते. It's a big myth. So many doctors have been busting it, but still I don't know why educated people still fall into the trap. Maybe because of the marketing gimmicks the bigger industry have. We doctors are very good at a practice and we are so busy with the practice कि हम ये सब चीज़ों में पढ़ नहीं सकते हैं, कर नहीं सकते हैं. And that is where the bigger industry, they take the advantage of, because of the lack of information, because of the marketing gimmicks. And of course hair is such an emotional component involved with hair that most of the people want to grow their hair. So it's a big industry and there are people who are taking advantage of people's emotional issue, which I think is wrong. Everybody should actually guide a patient or a person for the right treatment. That is a moral responsibility, just not for doctors, but also for the medical, not just for the medical industry, but also for the industrialists who are claiming their oil to stop hair fall.
No, Doc, but like you spoke about the marketing gimmicks, social media is playing a very big role. Everybody is giving tips, a health coach, a blogger, everyone. And there are people who are practicing that. There are genuine people, millions of people following this, looking up to this, and applying this. Like it can be an active ingredient on their skin or on their hair. They're doing this. What's your take on social media being the platform for trusting with these issues?
See, social media is very big and it has to be big because it's connecting everyone, right? The only problem with social media these days is that everybody is talking about something which they really don't know about. Yeah, because most of the time, to make the viral content, people are talking bullshit many times, which is also inappropriate. And we know लोगों को पता है कि उनको क्या चाहिए होता है, तो उसको वो promote करने लगते हैं. So see, people, doctors like me and people who are completely into clinical researches, the only problem with us is we don't have so much of time to make content. एंड जो हम सच बात बोलते हैं उसको वायरल करने का ट्रिक्स क्योंकि होता नहीं है, तो वो चीज़ जो है इतना लोगों तक प्रोपोगेट होता नहीं है. So that is the problem with social media at this point of time. But I'm very sure in the coming time, medical advice especially, whether it's related to skin care or hair care, there are so many people who are not even certified and they're talking about heart issues for that matter. So all these things are there, but I am very sure that Instagram or Facebook or all the platforms sooner or later they should have and they will have certain guidelines,
Yeah.
wherein only a person who's authorized to talk about it, who has certain degrees, would be allowed to speak on it, especially the medical issues. Because Instagram is allowing everyone to speak about whatever little knowledge or wrong knowledge that they have. They should ideally check the degree, qualifications, credential, then only allow a patient to make reels.
Absolutely, Doc. Well, I have seen you being vocal on social media, especially after the very disturbing incident that happened in Kolkata. Uh, Even workplaces are not safe, and every such incident keeps happening. People go on the protest. We try to put up our thoughts outside. We try to do all the protests, do a candlelight march, but nothing changes. What is your आई वुडंट से टेक अभी इसके बारे में बोलेंगे भी क्या? मुझे समझ ही नहीं आता है कि हम किस हद तक अपने आप को सेफ रख सकते हैं, नॉट इवन आवर वर्क प्लेस.
मैंने अभी बहुत हाल फिलहाल में एक पोस्ट पढ़ा था जो मेरे जहन में एकदम से घुस गया. लिखा हुआ था कि मोमबत्ती उठाने की तो आदत नहीं थी हमारी. जब एक महिला की आन और शान की बात आती थी, तो हमारे तो शास्त्रों में लिखा है कि सीधे शस्त्र उठाते थे और पूरे तरीके से मार देते थे. महाभारत एक महिला की शान बचाने के लिए, मर्यादा रखने के लिए ही किया गया था. सीता का जब अपहरण हुआ था तो राम जी ने भी युद्ध किया था. तो unfortunately the laws in our country are such that all these things are happening and people are not afraid to do all these things. People know कि हमारे को कुछ ना कुछ loopholes मिल जाएगा जिससे हम बचते रहेंगे. For example, if you see the Nirbhaya case, the juvenile is still roaming around. I don't know how many he would commit again. It took 12 years for the Nirbhaya Kand to actually get sorted. The parents, the mother were so much affected. And now you see the Kolkata girl, only one person has been arrested, while what the reports are claiming that 150 ml of semen has been found in her body, and that means that at least 10 to 12 people are involved in that case. And still the CBI doesn't have any clue. The medical professors who were the principal, they said it was a suicide. Come on, yaar, till when? And I tell you, so many times we will speak, but nothing would happen. So from, the citizen point of view, from female's point of view, there has to be certain policies in a country wherein if a person is found to be guilty for, immediate actions should be taken. It should not be taken for multiple months, multiple years कि चल रहा है कोर्ट में. ये कई लॉज हैं आपको प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए. जब आप एक सिंपल सा घूसखोरी के केस में आप इंसान को जेल में पहुंचा सकते हो, तो उस केस में इतना साल क्यों लगते हैं? दैट इज़ माई क्वेश्चन. इफ़ यू सी इन द गल्फ कंट्रीज, it takes just 1 year. Be it Saudi Arabia, be it Dubai, within 1 month a person is completely executed. That's not the law in our country. एंड हमारा ही एक देश है जहाँ पर नारी की शक्ति की पूजा की जाती है. वी सेलिब्रेट दुर्गा पूजा, वी सेलिब्रेट लक्ष्मी पूजा, वी सेलिब्रेट सरस्वती पूजा. एंड वही महिला, वही देवी जब देश में अगर सेफ नहीं है तो हम क्या पूजा कर रहे हैं? तो मेरी गवर्नमेंट से बहुत निवेदन है कि भाई get some laws wherein we females are protected. And you know that girl, that poor girl didn't had single room. She was on duty. She was finding a place to sleep for at least half an hour or 1 hour. That's a very common thing that happens in medical.
Yeah, I actually wanted to ask you about the medical conditions while you're interning, while you're studying. You have your night shifts, and there are multiple big hospitals. But is there a safe space? Is there a policy? Are there these infrastructures built? And if not, why?
So Dakshina, in most of the government colleges, which have a very high patient load, like she was studying in RG Car Hospital, and there was no doctor duty room in her department, while the department is around 100 years old. Yeah. So government might not be giving enough funds, or maybe they were getting enough funds, but maybe the hospital was not using it for the benefit of the doctors. We don't know that. But it's such a sorry situation that I tell you, at least 70% of India's government hospitals, if you see them, not even a, like, dog would want to pee in that particular toilet. The situation is such bad, like so dirty doctor's duty room. There is no place to pee, there is no place to sleep, there is nothing wherein you can actually, a doctor could have an access to. Sometimes it's so difficult for a doctor to eat food in that dirty place. एंड बताओ होता क्या है, जब हम लोग पीजी कर रहे थे, आई वॉज प्रेगनेंट व्हेन आई वाज इन माय फर्स्ट ईयर पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन, एंड दैट टाइम हम लोगों का तो डर्मेटोलॉजी था, तो रेयरली लगता था नाइट ड्यूटी, बट समटाइम्स वी यूज टू गेट दोज नाइट ड्यूटीज. And because I was severely anemic, my doctor said if you get infection, it would be very difficult for you as well as child. So I used to skip night duty. I used to give to somebody else, my colleagues. The moment I used to enter there, इतना dirty room होता था, इतना खराब room होता था. That is the situation for most of the hospitals. And if you complain about the dirty hospitals or dirty doctor duty room, अनफॉर्चुनेटली हमारे ही जो क्लैन है उसमें ऐसा है ना कि दे ग्लैमराइज, इफ़ यू नो ग्लोरीफाई द हार्ड वर्क और द शिटी वर्क दैट यू डू. एंड इफ़ यू वोकल अबाउट कि ये चीज़ ठीक नहीं है, ये अच्छा होना चाहिए, बेसिक हाइजीन फॉर दैट मैटर, आई एम like I can't live in bad hygiene at all. So if you do those tantrums, then they make fun of you कि आपने मास्क क्यों लगाया है, आप डॉक्टर होके मतलब गंदगी में रहो. दैट इज व्हाट लाइक इवन द सीनियर डॉक्टर्स वांट यू टू बी विद. सो दैट्स वेरी इनकरेक्ट. Most of the times, even like the junior doctors who are working, they work for 72 hours straightforward. So at least the senior doctors should listen to them. And senior doctors are also very pressurized क्योंकि patient load बहुत ज़्यादा होता है. So the government has to allocate proper resource to the medical colleges so that at least doctors don't contract diseases. You know, many doctors, they get HIV treating the patients. Many doctors, they get tuberculosis while treating the patients.
They're risking their lives.
They're risking their lives, and there are so many deaths. If you see in COVID, not just COVID, otherwise also so many people have multi-drug resistant tuberculosis. So many doctors get it, so many nurses get it. And unfortunately, all these things nowadays, children are becoming vocal. अदरवाइज वन जनरेशन बैक ऐसा होता था, अरे ये तो करना ही पड़ता है, नहीं तो तुम घर बैठते डॉक्टर बनने ही क्यों आए. दैट इज कम्प्लीटली इनकरेक्ट ना. एवरीबडी डिजर्व्स एटलीस्ट 6 to 7 hours sleep. Everybody deserves good hygiene.
Basic hygiene.
And everybody deserves at least a good place to eat. आप ब्रेकफास्ट लंच डिनर 3 टाइम का 15 मिनट्स का तो ब्रेक मिलना चाहिए ना एक इंसान को.
You know, when we talk about hospitals, for me now, on a personal note, it is scary because few months ago when my dad had a stroke, uh, he was supposed to, his second CT scan was supposed to be done, and they delayed it with almost 8-9 hours. Right, the first CT scan was done. Immediately they knew it was a brain hemorrhage. There was a brain shift. He was not operated due to his conditions, but he was under observation. And then the second CT scan was supposed to be done, and it was not done. By that time, he was on ventilator. And I called you and other doctors. I know that what is happening. We had no clue. We had no idea what is happening. And until the end, we waited, and we had to shift him to a private hospital and get him operated there. So this makes me question the government as well as the hospitals that basic infrastructure आपका नहीं है, and अगर नहीं है तो patients को बताते क्यों नहीं है?
So Dakshina, this is one question that I always wanted to ask. In fact, so many times I thought to enter public health also. When my father had a heart attack, it was a Sunday. The doctor couldn't reach on time, and he passed away. And my father was a very healthy, happy man, and I know the pain of losing a father. And my question was same कि भाई अगर संडे के दिन हॉस्पिटल फिर खोल के क्यों रखा है, पब्लिक को बताते क्यों नहीं हो कि यहाँ पर हॉस्पिटल डॉक्टर्स अवेलेबल नहीं है. And then I called the doctor. I spoke to the cardiologist later when I was, it took a lot of, yeah, Firstly, as a doctor, when you lose your own parent because of medical negligence, it's a very big thing. And afterwards, then I contacted the doctor. They said कि आप ये पूछो हॉस्पिटल से कि कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट को कितनी तनख्वाह मिलती है कि कोई डॉक्टर वहाँ पूरे समय रहेगा. Most of the doctors in this country are underpaid. Most of the times, now when we talk about corporate hospitals also, Sudakshna, the doctors are harassed very badly. I don't even blame the doctors always. The thing is like the kind of see if you talk about system, it's very
flawed.
bad, very bad, as in corrupt as well as
A lot of people are going to be angry at this video.
no, I don't mind. Even if doctors who are with me, my colleagues, they feel bad about it. जो गलत है वो गलत है. I am a vocal person, and even if you have to call me by names, I don't mind it. जो गलत है वो गलत है, because we are bearing a price of medical negligence in my own family. Then why not to talk about it? जब एक डॉक्टर के घर में ये हाल हो सकता है एक बड़े डॉक्टर के यहाँ, तो फिर बाकी लोगों को तो कुछ पता ही
नहीं. Absolutely. And until, like I said, until I did not go to the private hospital, did not get him operated, we were just clueless of what was happening. And touch wood, he's all fine now. But that was also due to a doctor. It's like they play such a big role, but if they are not given correct infrastructure, correct system,
and they are over occupied. I tell you, the proportion of USA, if you see in USA, one doctor is there for around 100 patients, and in India it's 1 by 100, 1200. Can you imagine the kind of load the Indian doctors have? And I don't know, why don't they increase the seat for cardiology, neurology? We have a certain branch in USA which is called emergency medicine. Whenever a person lands into emergency, they visit the emergency hospital. That's not there here in India. There is an emergency department, but if you see the emergency department, it's like 100 plus patients all the time in government hospital. So again, the doctors are not able to take proper care of the patients. और ये सब चीज़ें होती हैं, and it's very important to talk about it. जब तक हम बात नहीं करेंगे, हम change ला नहीं पाएंगे.
That's why breaking stereotypes, I guess it was important to talk about this. And this was not even planned. But I guess sometimes it's just in your head and you want to get it out.
So, Dakshina, when I go on my vacations, for example, to Dubai, London, there are hundreds of patients who start coming to the hotels also, wherever if I put on my Instagram, they start visiting the hotels. Why is it so? Because they love the Indian doctors. They have credibility on the Indian doctors. They know that the Indian doctors have the best knowledge. So I wish the efficiency of us, the Indian doctors, is used in the best possible way. We are the best resource. We are the best brain, so it can be utilized in a much better way.
Yeah, and I guess the government is now taking steps, and we hopefully see that change soon.
We want it to happen very soon.
As soon
After
as
especially
possible.
this case, another week, a lady nurse who got again after 1 week in Uttarakhand, and that's such a sad situation कि अभी एक का हुआ, सेकंड का कुछ नहीं, जहाँ इंडिया में ओलंपिक विनर्स को कितना सम्मान दिया जाता है. पर if you see, doctors are also like heroes. They are doing a much bigger job. एक डॉक्टर की हत्या हो गई, निर्मम हत्या हुई. I don't know. Politicians are just blaming each other. Where is the policy? We require policy to secure the doctors. We require the policy to secure the females. We need it. That there's a die-hard need of securing the females as well as the doctors in this country.
Look, we'll do a quick light session where I'm going to ask you a few questions and you need to tell me if you're going to break it or keep it. Okay, women earning more than men.
Yes, and my husband, my dear husband, he's such a supportive man, and he supports me for everything that I do, and he feels extremely proud about the fact that I have made a name for myself and I've made a bigger name than what he has. And men like this should actually be applauded and praised.
Yeah, absolutely, and I can see that regularly whenever I meet you guys. Well, doctors becoming entrepreneurs.
Definitely, yes, because healthcare requires more doctors and business also, because we as doctors know what actually are the challenging situation in healthcare.
Women dressing according to societal standards.
See, societal standards, they do vary. I would say decent in a way wherein you feel comfortable and people looking at you also feel comfortable.
Jaisa desh waisa bes.
Yeah, of course, if you are in a festival, you can't be in a bikini. Of course, you are in whenever you are near a beach, you cannot be in a ghagra choli, so you have to dress up according to the situation.
Absolutely. Modern generation with spiritual beliefs.
Yes, I am a very spiritual person, and I am into rituals also, and I make sure my entire family is into spirituality, including my son.
We'll definitely come to that. Doctors should give free service.
Yes, of course. If you are doing well in life, then why not? In fact, I also I work in a remote tribal town also, where I started my practice, and patients are so grateful. And I think when you can help people who can really not afford it, then the kind of blessings that you get from those people, it's like more than doing any rituals or spiritual activity. It's the best spiritual activity any person can do.
Once a degree is done, you don't need more knowledge.
No, you need to keep upgrading yourself because medical science is constantly,
Evolving.
yeah, it's evolving and so many new technologies keep coming. So, of course, you need to evolve yourself, and that is why the conferences are there. That is why you need to keep doing fellowships.
Yeah, yeah. Now, doctor, like we spoke about spirituality, I see you in Dubai, I see you in US, then I see you dancing in Vrindavan. ये मतलब मैं हम भी देख के बोले अरे डॉक्टर मतलब आई हैव सीन यू डूइंग फिलैंथ्रोपी आल्सो बट 2 years ago से मैं देख रही हूँ आप आपकी एक स्पिरिचुअल जर्नी स्टार्ट हुई है यू टॉक अबाउट इट वी सी पिक्चर्स व्हाट मेड यू गेट इनटू दिस एंड व्हाट चेंज्ड
So, Dakshina, I was very spiritual from the very beginning. And when I was 5 years old, my father was told by an astrologer that this girl will become so spiritual that at one point of life, she would completely be in spirituality. Maybe she'll stop living a livelihood also. So he was very afraid. And he used to keep me away from all the spiritual things. And one sudden day, he passed away. And that was my beginning of my spiritual journey. I was like heartbroken because it was a very sudden death. More than grief, it was shock, and more than shock, it was like losing my best support in life. So that time, like, I was very misunderstood because many people saw me as very strong, a very strong woman, fierce woman, blunt woman who doesn't care, who, like, has done everything on her own. But that was a very different side because I used to cry. I used to do my responsibilities, fulfill all my responsibility. I used to see patients, and between seeing patients, I used to take a break just to cry. So एक बहुत अलग टाइप का लोग देख रहे थे डॉक्टर स्तुति को, and people started suggesting that maybe you require antidepressants, maybe you require some psychiatric treatment. I used to feel very bad because जो पेन होता है वो एक ऐसा पेन होता है, स्पेशली लूजिंग अ पेरेंट. एवरीबडी वुड बी अराउंड यू, योर सन, योर फैमिली, योर हस्बैंड एंड एवरीबडी, बट पेरेंट्स का रिलेशन ऐसा होता है कि दैट्स द मोस्ट सेल्फलेस रिलेशनशिप इन लाइफ. एंड व्हेन यू लूज अ पेरेंट, देन ओनली यू रियलाइज कि इससे लाइफ में आपको ऐसा व्यक्ति दोबारा जीवन में नहीं मिल सकता. सो व्हेन आई लॉस्ट हिम, आई जस्ट वांटेड समथिंग इन माय लाइफ.
and to gather yourself, like you said, you cannot run away from your responsibilities. You have to do your work, you have to do everything else that is required, and then come back and realize that okay, this is going on in my head, I need to sit.
So that's where I started my spiritual journey. And when I started my spiritual journey, so many things changed. And so many things actually, because I am a left brain person, I am into science, I always require validation. I cannot believe in something, some Baba or somebody, just because people are adoring him or praising him, any Shakti for that matter. I am a God believer, but I don't believe. I used to believe, but I had my own set of questions and I required validation. So, Dakshina, such validations I got in my life that they were just only divine orchestrated. And since that time, I got all those answers, or maybe those validations. There was no looking back, and I have full faith in divine as well as full faith in spirituality. Now I make a point that at least 5 days a month I immerse myself into spirituality. Every day I try to do meditation. And my son is also a very spiritual person. He's
Yeah,
my
we see
spiritual
that.
partner.
I saw that story of him reading Bhagavad Gita and some chants he was doing, right?
So my son regularly chants Hanuman Chalisa. He knows everything about Bhagavad Gita, Ramcharitmanas, entire Shravan he was reading. So he's my, spiritual partner, best friend, spiritual best friend, I'll call him. And both of us are so much into meditation. We sit together, we talk so much. He has such a deep philosophy in life. It's just tender age of 8 or 9 years. He was, so that actually helped me move. I tell you, like, when I was in deep pain, he told me, he was the first and only person who told me that, Mama, you are in deep pain because God wants you to grow, and one day you will realize why Nanaji left this life. It was only for your spiritual growth. And now I realize why this had happened to me. So I'm so grateful for the amazing people who are in my life. So I want the young generation to be very spiritual. Our older generation, ancient people, were very, very spiritual. That is why they had such a beautiful life.
Yeah, I guess as I see people, as I meet people, I've realized that spirituality is something that balances them in a way that no matter what happens in your life, they're able to handle it with grace.
Very true. See, you become more graceful, you become more accepting. It doesn't matter what people thinking about you, what people talk about you. And if something good or bad has happened in life, it has happened for a reason. So you become a very balanced person and you just want to do your best. जैसा गीता में कहा है ना कि कर्म करते चल, फल की प्रति कुछ भी आस्था ना रख. तो वही होता है जीवन में कि आप जो है सिर्फ कर्म कर्म करते चलते हैं, और आपका सिर्फ उसके फल क्या होगा उस पर आप निर्भर करने के लिए नहीं रहते हैं. आप हमेशा सिर्फ यही चाहते हैं कि आप अपना बेस्ट दें. सो दैट इज़ वाई स्पिरिचुअलिटी इज़ a must thing in younger generation, because we have so many desires, so many ambitions in life. Of course all of us should have desires and ambitions, बट वो हमको बॉदर करने लग जाए, वो डिज़ायर्स हमको खाने लग जाए, वो हमारी एम्बिशंस की हमारे घर में कलेश हो जाने लग जाए. दैट्स नॉट द करेक्ट थिंग. We have to accept and understand that every soul has a purpose in life.
Yeah. And this life is all about finding the purpose.
Purpose in living your life in a very meaningful way.
Absolutely, and I guess that sums up the whole idea of me beginning this podcast or the series, where we want to embrace every individual with all their ambitions, with all their thoughts, yet be grounded, yet be culturally rooted there, so that we can grow up high and touch the sky.
Of course.
So, Doc, आपने बोला family is everything, and आपने कलेश के बारे में भी बोला. How do you and how do you think that women of today should balance उनका work life जहाँ पे they have these ambitions, they're working day in and day out, and then come back home and give that 100% to the family?
Yeah, firstly, expectation causes a lot of kalesh. So if you want to reduce kalesh at your family especially, then you need to reduce the expectations, right? Expectations both need to reduce, not just men but also women. Ki, like sometimes what happen when we are too good in our work, too professionally well known, then we carry that air with us. That has happened to me also. I feel used to feel, oh my god.
I'm going to ask doctor here.
Yeah, so like that should be corrected. Whenever you feel that you are on top, or whenever you start seeing yourself a little high on ego, just correct yourself. Be it a male or be it a female. We have to talk about gender neutrality, isn't it? In today's scenario. तो हर किसी को अपना जो है एक व्यक्तित्व ऐसा रखना चाहिए that people love you. It should not be that people are afraid of you. Even in family, I see certain people who are very, like the biggest doctors, they are very good, they are helping, they are very nice as person, human beings, but they are very strict with their children. Even people are afraid of them, their own family members are very afraid of them, which I think is not correct. It should be the happy family after all, right? So one advice to all the girls who are listening to this podcast, यार अच्छी है बात फेमिनिटी की, सब कुछ करो और अपने हक के लिए, अधिकार के लिए लड़ो, खड़े रहो, पर किसी भी चीज़ को अपने घर में प्यार को और ये जो बंधन है उसको ख़राब नहीं होने दो. जस्ट बिकॉज यू थिंक यू आर टू गुड, that ego should not hamper a family. That's very important. Be it, and this advice is also for the males, Let the ego be like, the second thing, but the first and foremost important thing in life is love, respect, and integrity. If you have that, you'll succeed very thoroughly in life.
Yeah, that's a great note, Doc, and a great takeaway.
And I think a happy and successful life is not just that you excel professionally. It has to be personally also, socially also, spiritually also. So there are so many aspects of life.
Yeah, I remember you also said this, the right partner who supports you and who's willing to adjust with you and learn with you is somebody you grow. You told me about this yesterday.
Yes, so if I talk on a personal note, my husband who is very supportive and he takes care of the smallest things. And if he sees that I am very sad, he gets very disheartened. So I can see love in his eyes. And because I keep very busy, I might not be able to give him the best of the time or like quality time at times, but still he sees his success in my success. If you have family support, you can conquer the entire world. उससे बड़ा धन, उससे बड़ा कोई शोहरत लाइफ में है ही नहीं when your family is standing with you.
Yeah, absolutely. A quick rapid fire. Okay, this is going to be a mix of your profession as well as personal aspects. Hair oils or hair mask?
It depends upon what issues that you're facing at the moment.
Okay. Scalp treatments or hair supplements?
Hair supplements any day.
Morning person or a night owl?
I'm not proud of being a night owl, but I am unfortunately a night owl.
Okay. Historic sites or modern landmarks?
Historic sites any day. I'm a history lover.
Okay. Women traveling for work or women at home?
See, I travel a lot and I want women to travel a lot because the more you travel, the more knowledge you gather and more you understand different people and you start respecting people for what they are. And of course, it gives you a lot of confidence in life.
Saris or pantsuits?
I like both. This was a difficult one, but maybe sarees.
Okay. Mumbai or Hyderabad because you travel both the places for all your
So Mumbai has glamour, Hyderabad has my heart.
Nice. That's a nice answer. Washing your hair daily or less frequently?
No, it should be minimum 2 times a week. And if you have more oil producing glands on your scalp, if your scalp is very oily, then you can wash it even daily.
Organic shampoos or clinically formulated shampoos?
Uh, Clinically formulated organic shampoos.
So, coming to the end of this episode, there's one question that everybody keeps asking you. What is the secret to your healthy long hair?
So obviously, I always say one thing to all my patients and people who ask me about my hair, कि वो हलवाई ही क्या जो अपनी बनाई हुई मिठाई ना खा सके. So of course the
That's
hair
a
growth
well said
booster.
answer. Yes.
So of course the hair growth booster secret behind my hair and my husband's hair, my family's hair, all of them are, we are known for good hair family as good hair
So,
family.
it runs in the genes, but a treatment will always embrace your
Of course, it's
looks. Yeah.
required. You need to take good proteins in the diet, 1 gram per kg body weight minimum. Make sure you don't do all those unhealthy treatments. I see so many young people doing a lot of keratin, cysteine, so much hair color. So you need to know that how much is too much, and you need to do it all in modesty. And don't do it too frequently. Make sure your diet is good, your sleep is adequate, and have good mental health. जब तक आपके बॉडी से कॉर्टिसोल रिलीज होता रहेगा, स्ट्रेस बढ़ता रहेगा, हेयर फॉल होता रहेगा. So you have to have something in life which makes you feel happy.
So, what is that one thing that makes you happy?
My family makes me happy. My son, my husband, they are the source of my happiness.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Doc, for joining us today. It was insightful, it was serious, it was fun, a tinge of tears, and lots of laughter, like we say. So thank you so much. And I hope you all take away a lot of things from this podcast where we are talking about health, your mental health, and everything that's happening in the medical industry, too. So thank you so much, Doc.